Alright guys, another banger video for you guys today. I'm gonna talk about the psychology, my trading psychology that has made trading a lot easier for me in the market. I'm gonna keep this on. It's kind of hot, but I'm gonna keep this on. And first thing is actually believing you have no other option. See, when you first start trading, you probably, well, it really depends. When you first start trading, well, actually, I'll be a little bit of transparency, guys. When I first started trading and I was trading with a lot of money, I didn't really understand the value of the money. So like, understanding that you literally have no other option will force you to basically like trade differently. And when I say trade differently, I simply mean that your approach, your understanding of the value of what you're actually doing will be just a lot better. For example, I'll give a great analogy. I'll give a good analogy. Nobody actually taught me this. I've just learned it because I failed, which is good. There's nothing wrong with failing. Trading also is a part of, it's a business, right? It's not like, if you want to be a trader, it's a business, so you should treat it as such. So I'll give a good analogy. If you're making, like, say $1,000 a week from trading, and you're making example $1,000 a week from trading, that's like, you could say it's the equivalent of working at like a 9-to-5 job, I guess, as like someone answering phone calls, like a receptionist. However, it's really not, because if you make $1,000 a week trading, 9 times out of 10 you made that money in way less work hours than someone who obviously works that job. So it's not the same thing. If you can make, good money trading, it is not the same thing as like working now. However, you could say someone who works a 6-figure job is still doing better than you, even if you're making $1,000 a week from trading, right? Because that person is, their income, the things that they can do in the real world is a lot bigger than what you can do at that level. That's just the reality, right? They can take trips at least a few times a year. Next thing I'm gonna touch up on, guys, is like I said, understanding you have no other option. This channel, the reason I'm making this series of videos is because I want you guys to be a part of my journey and understand my approach to trading. Like, I'll give another great example, guys. I was in the Tesla trade today, and it was a tight range, right? So Tesla was at 344, which I got in once it broke a little below, what was it, 343? It broke a little bit below 343, very tight range. And essentially, Tesla ends up breaking down to all the way to 341. Mind you, it's Wednesday, and Theta Decay kicked in heavy today. I'm not sure why Theta Decay was so strong, but it was really strong. So even when Tesla broke down that extra $2, because the trade took so long to pan out, you still would have lost money. So there was no real trade on Tesla. Maybe there could have been a trade on the 342s, but there was just no real trade. And basically, right, this is why I say understanding the value of your money is very important, because it's okay to take losses. Are like gonna happen. You can't really get around, I wish there was like some magical way that we could really like get around losses. I wish, but there's not. I took a loss today on Tesla, and I followed my plan. I did everything that I said I was gonna do, and I took a loss. Now, is that like, was it a big loss? Not necessarily. It wasn't a big loss. But what I will say is, it wasn't a big loss at all, by the way, guys. Less than 30%. That's not a big loss. What I will say is, like, just understanding this, and then also if you're trading with a small account, don't think you can't go on a 2-week winning streak. Like, you can do that shit, bro. or a 3-week winning streak. You can do that. I've almost done that before. I've literally traded for 3 weeks and taken like 2 freaking losses out of 3 weeks, which is 15 trading days. You can do that. It's possible. It's just taking the right trades consistently. But yeah, like I said, like that was a crazy trade. So because the trade took so long, so what I learned from that was, because that trade took so long, it didn't make sense for, like, the trade itself didn't really like work. There was really nothing else that I saw. There probably was something else, obviously, but you know, based on what I was watching and everything, there wasn't really anything else that I saw. Well, there was Amazon. I never even checked on Amazon. I think there was Amazon and IWM, but the market was wild. One of those days where the market was kind of wild. So if you're trading like later in the week and you're trading options, make sure you're not going to be sitting in a trade. Like, make sure you're not going to be sitting in a trade. I don't know why the Theta Decay was so ass though, but just make sure you're not going to be sitting in a trade to where you have to wait like an hour for the trade to work, or buy on the money contracts. If you buy on the money, then you know you'll probably make money, even if the trade takes that long. So yeah, crazy though. Crazy stuff, man. I was just talking about that. Always buy on the money. I was just talking about that. Always buy on the money. I didn't buy on the money, which was my own F up, right? That was my own screw up. I shouldn't have taken the trade, to be honest, because I didn't buy on the money. However, I didn't think the trade was going to take that long to work. If the trade had worked off the open, like how I thought it would, the trade would have been fine. But it didn't. If you guys did find value in this video, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. If you're wondering what we're looking for, what we're looking out for, we're still looking out for 100% trade, 100, 200% opportunities. That's what we're looking out for, guys. Other than that, I can't. Oh, also, I have a surprise for you guys coming soon. Other than that, I cannot complain. God bless you guys. Gotta have some fun with it too, guys. Enjoy the journey. Health is wealth, wherever you are in life. Have some fun, man. Like, you have to have some level of fun. You have to have some level of enjoyment in whatever it is that you do. Be a steward. Trees are nice. Weather's pretty good. I'll see you guys soon.